All right, so objections, my last one. So you ever find that objections is probably the hardest thing in the world because you're going to sit multiple times. When I started off with objections, I'd be like, they'd be like, oh, but I've already got an insurance broker. And I'd be
Yes.
like, I wouldn't know what to say. I'd be
So
like,
hang on, this is still on the call, yeah?
yeah, man. So this is when they say you come up with this awesome line. You say, I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to do this for you. And then they're like, oh, but I've already got an insurance broker.
Yes.
Or it's like, oh, I don't have time.
Yep.
Or I don't, whatever it might be.
The one that I've gotten a lot from media and like videography is we've already got someone in-house doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your immediate objection. So what you've got to do, you've got to figure out how you're going to get around it. So how are you going to get around it? And I mean, it's obviously a bit different for that. Probably something we can brainstorm together because I think you can find your way around that. You're just going to find something that's you're doing better than what they're doing. I guess they've probably got a bit of an advantage because they know the person. But
right.
If you have something that's better, I don't know, we can talk about that a bit later about how we can.
But yeah, in your
get
situation, yeah.
So in my experience, objections, I'd be in, like someone's like, I've got an insurance broker, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
Is this when
you can imagine as well? Yeah. I'll be like, all right,
cool.
Have a good afternoon, and then I'd just like log off, and I'd be like, I didn't fight for it.
Yeah.
I just let them get away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not going to get any business if you do that. If you can't manage to spiel it, like get around that. You just you don't take no as an answer.
But I'm sure you've had a lot of like hang-ups in your time. Like,
no, man.
Because man,
so people are a lot more respectful than you give them.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
I must be. Man. Can I say that?
Oh, no, you are. No, so it really depends. I've worked in sales of all different types, and I generally found that they didn't hang up on me, but they did they got me off the call. They just threw me down, said, nah, we've got someone, you're an in-house person. We've got a salesperson, we've already got a broker. Now, in that situation, number one, never, ever, ever put down your competition. Ever. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. So you never, ever talk down on who they're with.
Wow.
So if they said to me, oh, I've already got a broker, I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm really glad that you're being serviced really well and you're being taken care of. Like that's fantastic. Always just be sincere and never put down your competition. It's like okay, Ren, little example. It's like guys putting down other guys and telling, like a nice guy telling a girl that, oh no, I'm so sorry, what a shit guy, I would never treat you that way.
Nice
never.
Guy.
Yeah, don't be that. Don't be a nice guy, all right? So, you got to make sure that you never put down your competitor, okay?
Yeah.
So you always have respect for your other people, and the more you get with the industry I'm in, I actually know all the other people I knew all the other people from other teams, from other companies. I knew my opposition and as friends. I'd see them at networking events, and I'd just talk to them, and naturally, it'd be it wasn't personal. It wasn't personal, like looking down at that person, like, oh, F you for doing this. It was just like, I know these people personally, and I know that they're doing a bloody good job, so I can, be admirable.
But that's the thing. Like, I think it comes back to if you start talking shit about your competitors, it's going to come back. It's going to come back.
It will, man.
It's going to bite you in the ass. Who knows when you're going to run into each other. So
yeah, well, that's it. So you want to make sure that you never put down your competition.
Good point.
So when you come to objections where they say, I've already got a provider, for instance, I'd say, yeah, look, that's great. I'm really glad that they're taking care of you. One of the most important things in this current climate is having a good broker. At the moment, there's nothing wrong with getting a quote, before renewal, just to check out your different options. We're always here. Like, we get an obligation-free quote. So, obviously no price to you. And, it gives you a bit of leeway just to see what else is out there, just in case. So I'd love to still contact you 3 months before your renewal date. If it's all right, if I email you, if I get your email address, and then they'll say, yeah, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with having an extra quote. Yeah. And then you're like, yeah, no worries. And then you get their email, boom, done. And what you do after that is you get your calendar out and you put on the dot 3 months before their renewal date, put in your calendar, and you 100% call them. Do not make promises you cannot make. Don't make promises that you can't follow, can't keep. It's so important, even in that industry, because that bites you in the butt. So if you're going to call someone, you call them. And you're 3 months out, you'd email them or you call them. It's like, hey, just checking out how you're going. I understand your renewal's coming up in a few months, and I'd love to actually just check out and see if we can quote your insurance. As I said, it's not it doesn't cost anything, just to give you an idea on seeing what's out there. So just making it carefree and just follow up. And it's nothing wrong. There's another thing: keeping your connections ongoing. So even calling up these people, not for anything reason, just call them up and say, hey, just wishing you a Merry Christmas. It's Chris from this place, just wishing you a Merry Christmas, and looking forward to seeing what we can do next year. So it's like they're not even your client, but it's good to just catch up and email them, call them anyway, and just say, hey, have a great Christmas, just letting you know. That sort of stuff. Just making sure that they know you, because what happens when something goes wrong with these customers, who are they going to think of? Something goes wrong with their insurance broker. They hate them. Something happens. They have a bad claim. The number one people they think of is you straight away, because you're still in contact with them. So they'll go to you straight away. You can get the biggest sale in the world because you just kept the contact with someone even though they weren't your client.